What's going on? My name's Matt. I've been in power sports for almost 5 years now. Today, we're going to talk about armor base layers versus a standard motorcycle jacket. Seems like armor base layers have been making some waves online, and I can definitely see the appeal to them. You know, they stay in place, they're compressed against you. A lot of them are CE AA or even AAA rated. You can wear casual clothes over top of them so it doesn't look like you're wearing motorcycle gear. But there are some serious drawbacks that are enough for me to not want to get them myself. And this is not saying that nobody should get them. I think they're a cool product. I think having a diverse amount of different products is always a good thing. But the main reason is because these base layers are made out of what they call ultra high molecular weight polyethylene, which is basically just a high-tech plastic. And it's still a synthetic layer. So if you see my video about performance fabrics and how they're mostly plastic, you probably already know where I'm going with this. But if you wear polyester or some kind of synthetic that's too tight to the skin, it can often trap moisture and heat, and that friction, the combination of those things can often cause contact dermatitis, which is a rash. I've had this issue in the past with base layers, even like the Klim Aggressor, ones that are supposed to be like higher end. When I sweat too much in them, I actually tend to break out in a rash. And that's why I really gravitate towards natural fabrics. Now, if you have a bamboo or wool or something underneath that armored base layer, it is going to delay discomfort, but ultimately that moisture is still going to have trouble passing through the next garment. So it might delay it, but if you're out there all day doing multiple day trips, then you're probably still going to end up being uncomfortable, especially if it's in a hot environment where you're really sweating a lot. The other thing is when you wear a jacket, kind of like this jacket here, something mesh, something you can take on and off. When it's hot out or you don't want to be in this synthetic material, then when you take a break, you can just take the jacket off very easily. Armored base layers, kind of harder to do that, right? Because you're going to end up taking your shirt off and then take your layer off and then put your shirt back on, or yeah, it can be a little bit awkward depending on how you're layered up. You start shedding different clothes to get those base layers off. But this, if I'm stopping, I can just take it off, relax, let that evaporative effect take place, cool me down a bit, give me some relief. This is also a looser fit material, so it's not going to trap moisture to my skin quite the same way that a tight compressed material would. So it's going to give me some relief there. So personally, I would rather choose the material of my base layer. And I mean, even right now, I actually have a bamboo shirt on underneath this, and then a layer over top of it. But that way I'm getting the maximum comfort and I can get some relief when I stop. Now, I also wear an airbag. So this is another point that I want to bring up. This is a synthetic material too, but it is much more breathable, right? This doesn't have protection built into it. It's mostly a mesh and it's a lighter grade material. It's going to allow a little bit more breathability. And if I'm really suffering that much, if it's really hot out, when I stop, I can take this off completely, and that's not going to be awkward. It's just taking a vest off. But the other point I want to bring up is that if you are wearing an under the jacket airbag like myself, a armor base layer is not going to protect it. Armored base layer will not fit an airbag underneath of it, so you're going to have to put it over your armored base layer. And that means if you do go down and the airbag goes off, the airbag is probably getting destroyed in that crash because it's not protected by a jacket over top. So I like having a slightly looser fit when it comes to textiles, let myself breathe, having a softer, more comfortable material underneath. And then I also like the idea of my airbag being protected if I were to go down. That way I can just throw a new cartridge in it and not worry about having to replace the entire airbag. And you can usually throw a couple of cartridges in most airbags now before you have to send it in to get inspected. One last thing I want to bring up, and this is kind of a bonus. When I'm in full gear and I'm out in public, I'm stopping at a co-op or a cafe, I often get a lot of kids staring at me, and then I get a lot of moms. I'll overhear conversations of like the moms explaining, yeah, that's a protective jacket for his motorcycle, and that's his helmet and it's his pants. And I have literally had moms come up to me and thank me for setting a good example for the kids. And I think that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I don't see a problem with wearing motorcycle gear proudly and being like, yeah, I'm a motorcyclist and I prefer to be safe. I think it's awesome. I think it sets a good example for the kids, keeps me safe. Hopefully, if I get in a wreck, I'll still be okay. And yeah. So yeah, those are my thoughts on armored base layers. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As usual, if you like this content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. That's all I got for today. Till next time.